welcome back to another Facebook Live class from Arts and Wellness of Edenton. It's been a little bit since we've had one, so I'm thrilled to be back. And this is a great place to start, restorative yoga. So we're gonna spend some time tonight relaxing. What you'll want to gather is some soft blankets, some pillows, maybe a yoga bolster if you have one, a weighted blanket or a Ravi if you have one, or a sandbag. Any of those kind of props that you're familiar with, go ahead and gather them in your space. And if you're not familiar with them, I'll walk you through it and just grab a couple of blankets and that will be perfect. All right. So I'm going to scoot myself back here. Let's talk for just a moment about restorative yoga. This is a very open practice for everyone. We're not going to go into any crazy positions. It's not going to be difficult other than we will be slowing way down. So just the process of relaxing and slowing down and calming our minds and being okay with that, that's the only challenging part, but you'll be fine. I will guide you through it. We'll be using things like noticing our breath and noticing our bodies to give our minds something to still stay engaged with so that we're not hanging out in space with nothing to do, feeling very strange. All right? I'll be giving some modifications as we go. So even the gentle positions that we go into, there are some ways that you can set yourself up that might be more comfortable. There will be some positions of our bodies that you'll have options and choices. And the goal here is always to put yourself in the best place possible for you. And so if that looks a little bit different than my posture and the way I'm set up, that's totally okay. Your body is really your guide and your best teacher. So listen to yourself as you go. Listen to what doesn't feel quite right and try some different things until it does feel great. The whole goal is to relax, for your body to let go, and for you to feel better, all right? So at the end of this, you'll walk away thinking, how soon can I do that again? All right, and it will change the way that you engage the rest of your evening and the way that you sleep. This is all really great stuff. So I have myself sitting on top of a blanket, and we're going to start in a seated position. So if your hips are up a little bit higher off the floor, that can be much more comfortable on your back. And you may need a couple of blankets. You might even, if you have a thick cushion or a yoga bolster, you may want to slide that underneath your hips. So play with that height so that when you're in sitting, whether you have a leg out or not, or cross-legged, your back is comfortable and your shoulders are somewhat over your hips and it all feels good. All right, so take a moment just to get that positioning correct for you. Make sure you've got your blankets close by. I have a Ravi or a weighted blanket close by. And once we get here, let's just begin with 3 nice, easy breaths and tell ourselves it's okay. This is a safe place. You don't have to worry. There's no fear here. Take a deep breath in and an easy breath out. Let things start to settle here again. Breathe in. And find some place in your body just to relax, bring yourself a little bit more ease. And one more time, deep breath in. And let it Nice. All right, we're gonna set up our first position. It's super easy from here. All we're gonna do is send one of those legs out to the front. The other leg can stay close in towards the body. The leg that's bent is kind of like in a half tree pose. If you want to provide a little support for that knee, slide a blanket underneath that knee. We have this long leg out in front. If you want to cover that leg with a weighted blanket just to help things relax and settle down. It's amazing what a little bit of weight can do to make you feel safe and secure and help you relax into a position, okay? All right, and then if you have a yoga bolster or more blankets, these can all come in front of you, providing like a little shelf and a little place just to rest forward. And here's where we get really individual, you guys. Everyone's flexibility is at their own place. All right, so everyone's gonna land at a different place. And it may take you a little while just to find, all right, where am I comfortable? Do I need another blanket of support, or do I need to fold this blanket, cross my arms maybe? And then as you settle in here, the last to go is probably gonna be your shoulders and your head. So take your time and relax into it. Maybe you want another blanket underneath your forehead, underneath your head at this point, or maybe you're comfortable just folding over, relaxing the back of the neck. We're going to stay here for 2 or 3 minutes. Make any adjustments that you need to make. And you don't have to keep this perfectly still. If you need a little bit of soft movement along the way, feel free. Easy breaths in and out. Every exhale is an opportunity to just sink in, let things go, and relax. Keep noticing your breath. Every inhale and every exhale gives you a little something to follow and pay attention to. Take a couple more easy breaths right here. And then we're going to start to ease our way really gently out of this position. So you don't have to pop right back up to sitting. You can kind of ease your way a little bit side to side. Use your hands to help ease your way up here. So all of these positions that we go into are going to be super gentle stretches that are supported. We're not going into anything that's aggressive. Nothing should be painful or uncomfortable. But after you've been there for a while, you do get kind of a really soft stretch that's in a relaxed form, okay? All right, so coming up here, we still have one leg, that same leg out to the front. We're just gonna adjust slightly where that leg is directed. So I'm just gonna uncover so you can see. All we're gonna do, like the hand of a clock, we're just gonna open the hand of the clock a little bit, any amount out to the side, okay? And then recover it with a blanket or a weight of any kind if you like. I'm just opening mine up a little bit more to the side. Don't feel like you've got to go this far out to the side, okay? Then we still have these props, these elevated support surfaces to help us. I'm gonna leave the blanket underneath my bent knee. I'm gonna add in another little support here. Another blanket to the side, because we're going to go towards the foot of that opened leg. So a little bit of a side bend any amount. Relaxing over. So we're getting a gentle stretch on the opposite waist and rib. Only as far as you're comfortable with. Arms can go anywhere that feel right to you. Same thing with your head, and you don't have to plop right over really fast. You can float your way into the place that feels best for you. Same easy breaths in and out. So I'm just coming out of mine briefly because that didn't feel right on my shoulder. So I'm going to put a blanket between my shoulder and my head here. You can add in any movement, any repositioning that would help you here. Don't have to lock yourself into stillness. Breaths here. The same gentle way, maybe just rolling the head a little bit side to side first, using the palms to press your way up, so using as little effort as possible, just floating your way back out of that first position. All right. So setting up the second side. Pulling that weight off that first leg, extending the second leg out anywhere in the front direction. Opposite foot coming close in, and a little pad for underneath that bent knee. A little bit of soft weight over the extended leg. And then setting up your support in front of you, giving yourself a little landing spot. Remember, it can be built up as high as you like, all right? And don't be surprised if one side feels very different than the other side. Just listen to those clues. Listen for ways to help your body, and know that none of us are exactly the same from left to right. So more pillows if you need to, fewer pillows, maybe you'll sink down a little bit. Easier on this side, but take your time, folding your way forward any amount, using that support. Noticing how your body's doing here. So you can do your own little body scan and look for any places that are holding or resisting relaxing, and see if you can just take care of those places. Be gentle. Use your breath. Encourage them to relax and soften. Couple more breaths here. Make any adjustments, any movement that would help you relax. Very softly, starting to ease your way up. Take your time. A little sway side to side as you come. Keeping everything as relaxed as you can as you go. And then we're going to make that slight adjustment with that long leg. So sending that long leg from the front direction, any amount out to the side. Repositioning the bolster a little bit closer and out to the side as well. And start building that support surface back up for yourself. Maybe hug it in a little bit closer. And then any amount relaxing out in the direction of that extended leg. Maybe a little sway or rock, front and back. Nice deep breaths here. You can imagine yourself going deeper and deeper into noticing your body and helping your body. Breaths here. Nice and easy. Shoulders relaxed. Coming out of this really gradually, maybe just moving your head a little bit. Relaxing the neck as you go. And then pressing into the support to ease your way back up. And moving your support surface off your leg. Beautiful. All right. Moving that weighted blanket off, we are headed towards a modified lying on our back. I'll call it a soft mountain brook. Here's what we're looking for. The blanket that was underneath my hips, I'm now going to turn it so it's kind of side to side. My back, my middle back is going to be lying on that support. And I'm going to actually add one more layer underneath my middle back. So my hips will be down on the firm surface, on the blanket, on the floor. My middle back will be cruising up over these blankets, and then my head will be resting down. Remember, you can always put another blanket underneath the back of your head if you like. I like my head down a little bit lower. So here we go. We're going to go into this little gentle, mild arch of our back as we open up the front of our bodies. And then if you have a yoga blanket or some rolled up blankets, a bolster, that's going to go underneath your knees so that your knees are in this nice soft bent position, heels resting on the floor. And then take your time using your hands to support you as you start to recline back. And then when you recline back, you'll find out very quickly if you have too many blankets underneath your middle back. So if your spine automatically tightens up, then come on right back out of it and remove one or both of those blankets, because anything that causes you to tighten up is a sure sign you've gone too deep, okay? All right, so easing your way back onto your back. I'm gonna pull this weighted blanket right on top of my abdomen and my upper thighs. And then relax back, head resting on the floor. I'm gonna send my arms straight out to the sides. palms facing up, but wherever you're comfortable with your arms, you can have them closer in. You can rest your hands on your belly. We're in this nice, gentle opening of the front of the body. All right? So now that the whole weight of the body is relaxing into the floor, let's return to noticing our breath and using our breath to really relax. Imagine the floor is just going to hold you up. There's nothing for you to do but drop down. You can always check your head here. You check your neck, a little turn of the head side to side. Make sure everything's letting go nicely. You can work your way the same way right down the back of the body, shoulder blades dropping down. The ribs to open as you breathe in, and then relax together as you breathe out. Letting the hips drop right down into the floor. Take a couple more breaths right here. Nice. All right, we're going to have just a little kind of intermission here of some soft movement. So one at a time, I'm going to bend my knees, placing my feet up on the bolster or the blanket where your knees were supported. I'm going to softly rock those knees a little bit left and right. So back stays relaxed. You can roll across the back of the hips. Any amount that feels good for those knees to coast side to side. Maybe resting over towards one side, taking a deep breath there. And then easing your way over to the other side. Resting there, take a deep breath. blanket off the top of my body. We've got a small adjustment as we go towards lying on our sides with our knees bent. So I'm going to roll towards my side facing you, gently pressing up for a moment and scooting back so that the blankets that were underneath the middle of my back are now going to be underneath my waist and my ribs on that lower side. And I'm going to ease that yoga bolster up high for a little rest of my elbow and my forearm as I'm lying down. So knees are bent. Releasing that lower arm out from underneath you. You've got that yoga bolster to support your top hand and forearm. You can always bring it in a little bit closer, like a hug of your body pillow. I'm going to bring a blanket underneath my head in this position. Notice how this feels. Make any adjustments. Continuing that process of going a little bit deeper down into listening to your body. Noticing more layers. This might be a perfect position for you to stay here in. Or if you want to gently roll that top shoulder open, opening the chest up towards the ceiling any amount, adding in a little twist at your spine, only if it feels good, only if everything stays relaxed. You can always roll right back over onto your side where you were. Nice deep breaths. More deep breaths. And then coming back out of this the same way we got into it. So rolling back onto that side if you've been rotated. Relaxing the top hand back on the bolster or blanket. And then to come out of this and to come to the other side, we're going to roll a little more forward so that we're really leaning through that bolster, pressing up through the palms to ease our way up. And then rolling over to the opposite side. So swiveling the knees over, easing that bolster or blanket over to the top on the other side. And coming to supported by the blankets underneath for your waist and your ribs on this side. Releasing that lower arm out of the way so it's not crushed underneath you. Relaxing your head down. You can ease that yoga bolster in closer to the body and maybe drag the Ravi over the top hip, top thigh. And settle in on this side. Nice, easy breaths. You can notice all the points that are making contact with the floor, or on the lower part, close to the floor. And let those parts really drop down. So nice and heavy at your head, your lower shoulder, lower hip. And breathe in and out. Feel great right here, stay put. If you want to explore that little opening of the top shoulder and the chest towards the ceiling, any amount of rotation. this really softly, starting to wind back over to the side that you came from. Take a little pause once you get over onto your side. Notice how your back feels. I'm going to ease this Ravi off the top hip to start with, and then roll a little more towards the floor so you can press through the palms to ease your way up to sitting in the most relaxed way. And we have a final transition towards our relaxation or Shavasana pose. So I'm bringing the yoga blanket down low again for supporting my knees, and my heels will be resting on the floor. And we can move these blankets that were underneath our back right off, out of the way. If you want a little height underneath the back of your head, you can set that up. And then take your time going down here. If you want to hold on to one knee, this is kind of a nice gentle way to roll through that spine to land all the way onto your back. And I'm going to ease this weighted blanket back on top of the body. Anywhere you like with your arms. Maybe out to the sides, palms facing up, just a little more opening for the shoulders. Shoulder blades relaxed underneath. A little check of the head, easing it side to side. Nice and loose. And then breathe here. This is a wonderful place to really digest how your body's doing, how you can help it even more. Really invite your body to be fully supported by the floor and by the bolster, the blankets. So no work to be done. Just relax. Follow your inhales and your exhales, almost like a circular flow. Never really stops. But that circular wave-like flow is a nice place to engage your mind. It's peaceful, it's continuous. Nice and soft and easy. couple more nice deep breaths with you here. And then I'm going to start to very slowly, very gently bring myself softly out, but you can stay right where you are. It's one of the great benefits to online classes right now is that you're set up in your own space. And especially as we finish a class in Shavasana like this, you do not have to come out. You can stay put for as long as you like. One of the perks. So keep breathing, keep relaxing. Stay in your beautiful place right where you are. And thank you for joining. I'll see you next time.